Okay, let's try this again. Sorry, I was trying to make a video before, but of course somebody calls me. The minute I get a minute to make a video, the phone's ringing. So it was over an hour long conversation. I'm still in the car waiting for Donna. You're not allowed to go in with COVID, so she's at the doctor's for some, I don't know, arthritis checkup thing or whatever. And, she might have colon cancer. And so you guys please pray for her because, she's a high stroke risk. She's possibly got cancer now. We're going through a lot. And I've been taking her to a lot of doctors and stuff, and I've been sick myself going to doctors, and it's just a 24-hour thing for me. I take care of her. And so anyway, I've been in the car for over an hour in 6 Divine Street waiting for her while she's getting her test done. I just want to say happy birthday. Thank you for all the happy birthday, wishes. It's not a happy birthday for me. I mean, I don't have a day to myself. I'm not feeling well and I'm just going all the time. And when I try to rest when I can, but, I haven't even been able to return to work yet. There's no time. I'm trying to get my life together so I can go back to work. So, with that said, something I think the Lord, might be putting on my heart and mind, I wanted to bring up to you guys. Tomorrow is Lent, the beginning of Lent, and I really need God's help to get myself out of this hole, to get my health back, if he's ever going to allow me to have my health back, to get my vocation back on track, whatever's going on. I need the Lord for everything. What he brought to my attention again the other day was back in 2007 or 6, when I had this major conversion experience. I had asked him to use me. I said, Lord, if you did what you did with St. Paul, he used to be Saul, and he persecuted you and your Christians. He killed people. I'm not like that. I mean, surely I'm not that bad. I said, so you can turn my life around and use me greatly too, right? So I asked the Lord to turn me from a Saul to a Paul. I was reading the Bible one day, and I was reading for hours. I used to read 8 hours straight. Like, I couldn't put it down. It would just be Jesus, I'd pray. I'd do like hours of prayer, and then I'd say, Lord, would you read this with me? And show me what you want me to learn from this book. And 8 hours would fly by, and then I'm like, wow, and then I'd get excited. I'd stop and I'd pray on my knees and say, Lord, can you do this with me? And, is that something, and he would answer, Well, anyway, so I asked him one day, this was back in like 2007, before a charismatic healing mass on a Tuesday night with Father Russo at my church. This is when when I first learned that I had charismatic gifts, and I didn't think that Catholics had them. I didn't know we had charismatics in the Catholic Church, right? So in 2007, it was like every one Tuesday a month, the last Tuesday of every month or whatever, Father Russo, who was a charismatic, which I didn't know, he was my spiritual director and confessor and parish priest for 7 years, and I never knew he had gifts. Well, that's why I used to encourage mine. Well, I was planning on going to the 7 p.m. healing mass. But before I did, I spent hours praying, reading the Bible with the Lord in my room. And in my heart, without even speaking audibly, I would read parts of the Bible, and then I'd ask God, can you do that with me, and whatever. So I remember asking him 3 things. One of them was, Lord, what you turned Saul to a Paul. Can you turn me from a Saul to a Paul? And then I said, Lord, I read about little David here, and, he's a lot like me. My family's all in government and, military and, high positions. And then there's little old me, frail health, never amount to anything. And, I'm like the little sheep herder in the family and the black sheep in the family, And I said, can you use me like you used David? And then I asked him, I said, Lord, what's your will, plan, and purpose for me? And then I said, Lord, I just read about Solomon, and it said that King Solomon was given a special gift of wisdom, and that no person has ever had that kind of wisdom before Solomon, nor would anyone ever have the same amount of wisdom again after him. So I said, Lord, I'm not trying to tempt you. I said, but can you give me just a fraction less of the wisdom you gave Solomon, but give me that kind of wisdom, and I promise I will use it to advance your kingdom for your glory and honor and kingdom's advancement. And then I closed the Bible and I got ready and I went to this healing mass. And I'm giving you the abridged version here. And when I got there, the first thing we did was a mass, and then we had adoration, and people started lining up along the altar rails. Along the altar, we don't have rails, but where they would be. And Father Robert Russo was standing with the monstrance in his hands, both hands on the monstrance, and he would just stand and go like this in front of you, and people were falling back on the floor like dominoes. And I'm like, this is a bunch of hocus pocus. Like, what is this? These women are crazy. They're making this up. There's no way they're passing out. Like, I don't believe in that. You know, like, they're not really sleeping. You know, come on. Slaying in the spirit, it's called, I guess. I didn't believe in that kind of stuff. I thought it was hocus pocus nonsense. So I'm standing in line. It's my turn. I wait to the end, and I'm there. And I'm like, I got my hands crossed with a bad attitude. So I'm like, this is ridiculous. I'm going to prove to you I'm not going down. This doesn't exist. It's not real. And Father comes to me, and he's standing in front. As soon as he comes in front of me with Jesus in the monstrance, I felt these two hands push me, and I went flying back. I had no idea there was a guy there to catch me. Thank God he caught me, because I would have slammed my head on the marble floor. And he catches me, and he puts me down, and I'm like, now I'm looking at both sides, and these women are down in a row of old women just laying there, smiling, asleep. So I look up, and I get up, and I walk away, and this woman comes up to me. She goes, "Why'd you get up?" And I'm like, well, I'm not sleeping. And they're not sleeping. They can't, what was that? And she's like, the Holy Spirit pushing you down. That means you need to rest in the Spirit. Next time, don't get up. And I'm like, I didn't know what it was. I'm a little confused. The only person who was in front of me had two hands on a monstrance, and it's heavy. So there's no way he could have pushed me like that. But I felt two hands on my chest push me back. I could not fight it. I went flying. What was that? And she was like, that was Jesus. He touched you. You have a mission. And I'm like, she was like, so next time stay down. I'm like, but I wasn't asleep. She goes, they're not asleep. They're resting in the Lord. And so that was my first experience with that. And I've done it a lot after that. I always go down. So I didn't know. Now I'm a believer in that, right? So while this is all going on, I see this two couple, this husband and wife I'd never seen there before, and never again after that night. And the husband had the gift apparently of interpreting, speaking tongues. And the wife can interpret for him, but she can't speak. So I wait for my turn, and I sit in this chair, and they come around, they say, hello, Stephen. And I'm like, that's creepy. They couldn't know my name. I don't even know who they are, but maybe they heard somebody say my name right. And then they said to me, what do you want us to pray for? I'm like, now I wasn't trying to be disrespectful, but you know, I was 27 and this is all new to me. And I said, I know how this psychic stuff works. You're going to ask me questions, and I'm going to tell you a bunch of stuff, and you're going to make me believe that you knew that from some supernatural ability, but really you're making conclusions off of the facts I'm giving you. So if this is real, God already knows everything about me, and I don't need to tell you anything, but there's something I need to know. I had some questions for the Lord, and she's like, very well, we'll begin. She goes, can we put our hands on you? I'm like, yep. So I close my eyes, and he starts doing this gobbledygook, blah, 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 whatever. And I'm like, oh gosh, this is going to be interesting. And all of a sudden, she starts interpreting, and she starts telling me things that nobody knows, only between me and God. She told me what parts of the Bible I had read in my bedroom. She told me I was in my bedroom earlier, before I came to Mass. I'm like, well, yeah, I'm sure a lot of Catholics do that. And I was reading the Bible, and I said, well, yes, a lot of us do that. We do read the Bible, you know, we might not be Protestant, but we do read the Bible. And she's like, well, yes, but you read these specific areas. And now I started getting teary-eyed, because I'm like, okay. And I'm like, yeah. And then she started asking me. Now, I talked to the Lord in my heart. I didn't use words in my bedroom, not like it would matter. She couldn't know. And she told me word for word what I asked the Lord. Wisdom like Solomon, will, plan, and purpose for my life. She knew it all. And I started crying, because I knew this was real at this point. And she knew things that I had talked to the Lord about, you know, that only I know. Not even my confessor knew. So I was like flooded with tears, and she's like, Stephen, you have a huge mission on your life. And I'm like, well, what is it? She goes, okay. She goes, did you ask God to use you like a little David? And I said, yes, like the David who slew Goliath. She goes, he says you shall have it. And I'm like, really? And she's like, did you ask God, for wisdom like Solomon? And I'm like, I know it's a lot to ask. I don't expect him to answer that. And she's like, no, he's telling me yes. He's telling me, Stephen, I am very pleased with you. You could have asked me for anything, and you decided with your heart to ask for my kingdom's glory and advancement, not for yourself. And so you shall have it. And I'm like, wait, he's going to give me that kind of wisdom, like to understand the word, like to preach, like wisdom like Solomon? And she's like, yes. And I'm bawling my eyes. I'm like, oh my God, I would never expect God. I'm trying not to cry now. And I'm like, I can't believe he's doing this for me. And then she goes, did you ask him what his will, plan, and purpose is for your life? And I'm like, yeah, what is it? What is it? And she's like, are you ready? And I'm like, uh-huh. She goes, oh, Stephen, she goes, you're going to lead a lot of people to the Lord. A lot of people in your life. You're going to lead a lot of souls to him. Sorry, I'm trying not to cry. Ugh, I hate being emotional, but this stuff is like, it's real, and you got to know it. I can't help it. It's just, I every time I think about what God's done in my life, that's why I'm so passionate about it, It's real. Well, anyway, she said, okay, close your eyes. And I'm like, okay. And she's like, what do you see? I'm like, nothing. It's dark. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, wait. I'm seeing red. I started seeing the color red. And she goes, good. I knew you were going to say it. She goes, yes, red. She goes, and what does red represent to you? And I'm like, I don't know, my car. Cause I had a red Ford Mustang at the time. I loved that car. I'm like, I don't know, my car. And then I'm like, wait. I'm like, no, I see a barn. I started seeing a vision of a barn and a farm. And she goes, exactly. She goes, and what happens on a farm? And I'm like, you grow things? She goes, exactly. You sow seeds. And I'm like, yes. And then all of a sudden I'm like, wait, the barn just changed to something else. I'm like, now it's like a burgundy wine colored piece of fabric that I'm seeing, and it's kind of blowing in the breeze, and it's like, it's shiny and it's like velvety. And she goes, exactly. She goes, Stephen, do you know what? I'm seeing the same thing. She goes, do you know what I see right now? And I'm like, no, what? She goes, Stephen, Jesus is putting his robe around you. And I'm like really bawling my eyes out at this point because I'm like, why? Why would he do that for me? And she's like, Stephen, you have a serious mission on your life, a serious mission. He's proud of you, and he's giving you his robe, and he's putting a crown on your head. And I'm like the worst sinner. He can't. She's like, Stephen, he really is. He's telling me that he loves you very much and that he has a very important mission for you. And you're going to lead a lot of souls to him, especially today's youth. Without somebody calling. But anyway, long story short, he answered all these prayers in this charismatic healing thing. So I was sold. I knew it was true after that. And then I just started walking in a lot more miracles, and I really got into prayer and all that stuff. So anyway, long story short is Lent is coming up, and I know that the Lord wants me to take this Lent very seriously because I have not. I haven't even given stuff up in years. And I've just really been missing the ball. Last year was a test. It was really important during COVID. There was no excuse, and I didn't pray as much. So this year I want to make Lent really count. And I'm asking you guys, I'm going to start making more videos. And I really think that what God wants me to focus on this year is detachment. We have to come to him with our whole hearts, and we have to stop watching so much TV and being on the internet a lot and on social media. And we need to start detaching from these worldly things and ideas. And one of the things that I have trouble with is I'm supposed to be going back into religious life. That's what I'm getting anyway. And it seems like it's going to happen. But I have these religious life orders are not like the other ones I've been in. This one they're probably going to be more mendicant, where I have to get rid of a lot of my worldly possessions too. And it's hard for me because I have all these bins of stuff I'm still trying to go through and downsize and give stuff away. But there's memories of things that my father gave me that I can never replace. I have birthday cards and stuff that were written by my father to me, things that I want to keep, memories, I still have letters from girlfriends in high school. I have all these letters from my friend Nikki, who's passed away of cancer a few years ago. Like, there's just things that I want to keep. I have statues and stuff that the Blessed Virgin Mother gave to me when I prayed for them. I asked specifically, and she got them. She sent them to me through strangers the next day, from right down to the medal I'm wearing. And the Blessed Mother has really provided a lot for me. And so I don't want to give up all these things. I want to make sure they at least go to a proper place or come with me to a monastery if I go back into religious life. So the point is, I'm going to try to start getting back into my prayer every day. more, not just lukewarm stuff, not just a rosary and a divine mercy chat, but I need to go deeper again, because I'm not walking with the Lord the way I used to. I used to walk in miracles. I used to pray for people dying and they'd be healed. And it still happens, but not nearly the way it used to. And I keep asking the Lord, what's going on? Why are you so distant from me? Why are you letting me suffer so much? What's going on here? Why is nothing working out? And it's like, well, you're not where you used to be with me, Steve. You've abandoned me. You let go of my hand. You're half-hearted now. You're double-minded. You have one foot in the world. I need you back. Otherwise, so why don't you use this Lent, because it could be your last, to seriously start detaching again from all these worldly things. Have I not provided everything you need? Do I ever let you starve or have no roof over your head? Have you ever gone without anything you asked me for? No, Lord. Honestly, you've always been there for me. So I need you all in, Steve. Like, why don't you take this Lent to lead others to an all-in relationship with me? Why don't you start tomorrow doing videos now about detaching from things? Show them what you're going through. Show them the projects you're working on, and show them you show them yourself throwing things away in the garbage that are very hard, that you want to keep. Because honestly, you can't take it with you when you die. And if you're going to go into religious life, or if you're really going to be my follower, you need to start detaching. I'm a jealous God, and I need you 100%. You don't need all this stuff in the world. Take only what you need and live lightly. Your reward's in heaven, where nothing will be taken away from you. But down here, what you're holding on to is the past. You're living in the past. You live in the past, you're already dead. You live in your memories, you're already dead. You can't go back. What did I say? Always keep your eyes on me and keep moving forward. Don't go to the left, don't go to the right. Do not stop, do not go backwards. Forward. Christians are forward-thinking people. I'm not in the past anymore. We have business in the future. If you're going to follow me, pick up your cross again and get back on track and lead others to do the same. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to use Lent for my ministry, and we're going to start doing Lenten things in these videos, and we're going to pray, and we're going to start figuring out ways we can fast and detach from stuff and do penance. Prayer and penance are number one. That's what God wants. That's what the Blessed Mother told us we need to do, especially now. Because it's not even to save the world at this point. It's to save our own souls, and it's to get ourselves strong enough in the Lord so that when persecution comes, we're not going to buckle. When the end of the world comes, we're not going to buckle. So that if we die tomorrow, we go to heaven. Okay? That's what it's about. It's every man for themselves. They have to have a personal relationship with the Lord, and we're neglecting it. Dawn is probably waiting for me to pick her up, so I gotta end this. But I just wanted to, that was supposed to be a quick, short 5-minute video of, hey, this is what I plan on doing, and, stay tuned. So tomorrow, let us take this walk, this Lenten walk, seriously, and let us do it together. It's easier to do it when you know you're not doing it alone. So I want people to do it with me as well. So why don't we start really saying that tomorrow we're going to start fasting. We're going to observe, don't eat meat on certain days. We're going to start trying to fast a little bit more, maybe cut out some junk food, some meals. We're going to try to do some penance. We're going to try to do some more acts of charity, whatever it takes. Okay. I'll figure it out. God will figure it out with me. But how many are you interested in following me through this Lenten journey with me? I think it's time. I think it's time for all of us to sink or swim. Take this seriously or not. Because that's what Lent is. It's a time of renewing our walk with God and really getting back on track. And fine tuning our faith and our walk. So one of the things I'm going to be doing is doing a lot more prayer time. I don't really watch TV or waste time. If I'm not doing social media, then I'm not doing any of that stuff. Like I'm busy. But I don't watch TV really often, maybe once in a while at night, once in a while with Donna, before bed to wind down, but I don't do a lot of things that people do. I don't play sports. I don't have fun really. But still I need to figure out a way to get more prayer, even if it's while I'm cleaning or cooking or working or on the way to work or whatever. I have to do more prayer again. I miss those times where I'd spend hours in my room with the Lord, and things happen. I do novenas and amazing things would happen. That's why I walked in miracles. What the Lord showed me is I would do this with a lot more people You're not special, Stephen. It's just that you actually take it seriously. You are like St. Paul. You walk by faith and grace. You ask me for everything. You ask me permission for everything. You know, that's why you walk in miracles. That's why I've given you what you asked for, wisdom, money when you need it, whatever, because you're really walking with me. You're really living this life. You're trying to be holy and righteous. Most people just say they're Christian, but they don't do that. Maybe they'll go to church on Sunday, but they're not really doing this 24/7 where they're always thinking about me, Stephen, like I commanded, 24/7 with their mind, heart, and strength. You do that. So, of course, you're going to walk in miracles. You're going to see answered to prayers. People shouldn't be jealous if you're upset. They need to step up the game. They need to do what you're doing. Teach them. Teach them how you do this. Teach them how you get prayers answered. What you do for the dying when you're at their deathbed in a hospice. What prayers do you pray? Show them. Then they can walk in miracles too. Then they can have a close relationship with me too. Then they won't be jealous because I'll answer their prayers too. You know, and I'm like, you're right, Lord. I'm going to take this time to not just tell them all my stories of why I'm so passionate and why I have such strong faith, but I'm going to show them how they can have it too. And if they want to be lazy, then that's their problem. And then they're not going to get the same fruits, and they're probably not going to bear fruit, and they're probably going to end up in hell. But at least they're going to have another option. We won't just give a man a fish for the day and feed him for a day. We will show them how to fish for themselves so they can feed themselves for a lifetime. I'm not going to just tell you how I pray. I'm going to show you. I'm not going to just tell you my stories about what the Lord does for me all the time or what I'm doing. Let's do it together. Let me show you. Let me teach you people how to do this so that you can start doing it too. All right. God bless. I got to go get Donna. She's waiting for me in the building. Bye.